Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Stories and Songs from Our Savior's Lutheran Church in Faribault. My name is Lisa, and I am working with the kids at Our Savior's and bringing you these videos when we can't meet together because of the pandemic. Thanks for watching. I'm so glad you joined me. Today's story is, I'm reading from the Good News Bible, and this is called The Question About the Sabbath. There's a couple of things that you need to know first before we read. The Sabbath, back in the times when Jesus was alive, was the holy day. In our calendar, the day that we kind of set aside as our day for going to church is Sunday. Back then, it might have been Saturday, but I don't know if they used the same, week or whatever, but they had a holy day each week that they called the Sabbath. And then another word that you need to know from this story is called Pharisees. The Pharisees were people or men, I would say, who worked in the temple, and they are the ones who made sure that everybody was following the laws. And there were laws about things that you could or could not do on the Sabbath, on the holy day. And so when the Pharisees started watching what Jesus was doing, they were trying to catch him breaking the laws about what Jesus could and couldn't do on the Sabbath. Let's read the story and we'll hear more about it. This is from Luke chapter 6, the question about the Sabbath. Jesus was walking through some wheat fields on a Sabbath. His disciples that were with him began to pick the heads of wheat, and they rubbed them in their hands, and they ate the grain. Some Pharisees saw this, and they asked, "Why are you doing what our law says you cannot do on the Sabbath?" Jesus answered them, "Haven't you read in the law what David said when he and his men were hungry? He went into the house of God, took the bread offered to God, ate it, and gave it to his men to eat. Yet it is against our law for anyone except the priests to eat that bread." And Jesus concluded, "The Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." The story continues. On another Sabbath, Jesus went into a synagogue and was teaching. There was a man there whose right hand was paralyzed. That meant he couldn't use it, he couldn't move it, he couldn't make his fingers move to do things, hold things, maybe write or anything. He couldn't use his hand to do any work. Some teachers of the law and some Pharisees wanted a reason to accuse Jesus of doing the wrong thing. So they watched him closely to see if he would heal on the Sabbath. But Jesus knew their thoughts and said to the man, "Stand up and come here to the front of the synagogue." The man got up and stood there. Then Jesus said to them, "I ask you, what does our law allow us to do on the Sabbath? Can we help or should we harm? Can we save someone's life or destroy it?" He looked around at them all, and then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." And when the man did so, his hand became well again. That means he could move it, he could use it, he could wiggle his fingers, he could make his hand work just like everybody's hand does. They were filled with rage. That is the Pharisees, those men who were in charge of making sure the laws were followed. The Pharisees were filled with rage. They were very angry, and they began to discuss among themselves what they could do to Jesus. Now that last sentence, they were filled with rage and began to discuss among themselves what they could do to Jesus. Jesus was just teaching and having people follow him. And this was not very long after Jesus started his ministry. But the Pharisees were already getting worried about the power that Jesus had, about how many people wanted to follow him and were going to hear him speak or preach wherever he was. He was getting a lot of people to come before him to be cured. He was raising people from the dead. All the things that he did made those Pharisees and the priests, all the people who worked in the temple, it made them very nervous because they were the ones in power. But they saw that because of what Jesus was doing, that he was gaining some power, and they didn't like that. So they were already thinking about what could we do to get rid of Jesus so that he's not this powerful person. And that's what happens in the gospel story. We hear about Jesus preaching and healing and doing miracles, and then we get to the end of those gospel stories, and we know that Jesus dies on the cross. But even after that, the Pharisees are in for a big surprise because Jesus comes back from the dead just like he says he will. And the Pharisees then realize that he wasn't just somebody saying, I am Lord of the Sabbath. The Son of Man is the Lord of the Sabbath. He doesn't just say that. He says it because it's true. He really is God's Son. Thank you for joining me for the story today. Stay tuned for songs, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, boys and girls, thanks for staying with us for the songs portion of our tape today. We're going to sing all the songs that we have learned in this month of January, which has been 5 songs, if you can believe it. You guys have done really well learning these songs. So we're going to start with In the Temple today. Starts like this. In the temple, stood a little boy one day, and the teachers wondered greatly at the words they heard him say. It was Jesus, he was but a little child. This one is Beautiful Savior. I'm going to ask Pastor Jeff to come and help us do the round. So we're going to sing it one time through together, and then I'll start the round. So some of you can sing with me, or some of you can sing with Pastor Jeff, and he'll come in second on the round. So this is how it goes. Ready? Lord of the nation. boys and girls. That was
Thanks,
great.
Lisa. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
Thanks for helping us. So now we are going to do, I will make you fishers of all, which we learned last week. So I'll help you remember. I think you'll remember. It's an easy one. I will make you fishers of all, fishers of all, fishers of all. I will make you fishers of all if you follow me. If you follow me. If you follow me. Back to the top. I will make you fishers of all if you follow me. Do it one more time. I will make you fishers of all, fishers of all, fishers of all. I will make you fishers of all if you follow me. If you follow me, if you follow me, I will make you fishers of all if you follow me. Excellent, so nice. So now, boys and girls, I'm just going to take off a few pieces of paper here because we need to sing John the Baptist. There we go. And you've got the words in front of you now. Let's see if I can remember. I'm having trouble remembering all these words, but sing it loud and proud and that'll be good. Here we go. Awesome. Very good, guys. Now, we'll take this one off. And can you believe it? We're already to our last song. 5 songs you guys learned. And I like doing this one last because it's talking about, Lord, let your servant depart in peace. And it just means that it kind of closes our time together until next week. So let's sing. Lord, let your servant, or the Nunc Dimittis. Here we go. Lord, let your servant depart in peace. Your word has been fulfilled. Mine eyes have seen your salvation, prepared for all people, a light to reveal you to the nations, and the glory of your people, Israel. girls, for joining me for Stories and Songs today. We'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.